Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICT's Edtech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICT's Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Hello everyone! A wonderful day to you all. Welcome po to our another terrific Tuesday with Tutor today. Hello to all our grade 10 learners, teachers, and parents. Welcome po sa ating English 10 online tutorial. Hello, hello! I would like to acknowledge our early bird, our Tuti, Tresel Agsaway Navarro. Good afternoon, Tresel. How are you doing? All right. So, by the way, I am tutor today. And I will be your tutor this afternoon. Makakasama ninyo ako from 3:40 to 4:20 p.m. Again, magandang hapon mga mag-aaral. Lubos ang aking kagalakan na makasama kayo. Inaasahan ko ang inyong pakikilahok sa ating aralin. Simulan na. Handa na ba ang lahat? Meron ba tayong mga ibang mga tuties online? Carl Henry Damaso, hello, watching from Philippine International English School, Kuwait. Good afternoon. Wow. All right. Actually, Carl Henry, there's something that I would like to show to you later. Okay. Anyway, this afternoon in our English 10, we are going to focus on acknowledging sources in writing conventions. We are now in the 7th week. 7th week na po tayo sa ating quarter 4 sa English 10. Of course, I would like to acknowledge the source of the module that we are using today. Thank you so much, Division of Lapu-Lapu City, Region 7. And talking about last session, I would like to Congratulations to the best English 10 tutor of week 6. Congratulations, Carl Henry Damaso from the Philippine International English School, Kuwait. Congratulations. You have really shown your active participation last week. And I hope today in our session, you will still actively participate. Congratulations again, Carl Henry Damaso from the Philippine International English School of Kuwait. Wow, we have from Kuwait. Congratulations. All right. So let's have a review first. We've been talking about last week. So what did we discuss last week? In our last week's session, we were able to do these objectives. We differentiated cohesion from coherence, and we also identified the two main types of cohesion. We also enumerated some cohesive devices, and we expand our ideas using the cohesive devices that we have presented. So as a recap, we talked about cohesion. What is it? It is actually the grammatical and the lexical relationship within a text or sentence. And we were talking about links last time. Also, we talked about coherence. So when we say coherence, we are talking about the ways a text makes sense to the readers and writer. Also, we talked about the two main types of cohesion, the grammatical on the focusing on the structural content, and the lexical, which is focusing on the language content of the piece. And also last week, we talked about the different referential devices. If you can still recall, we focused on the three referential devices. We have the anaphoric reference, the cataphoric reference, and the exospheric reference. All right? And also, to achieve coherent writing, we must use devices, okay, to help us deliver our thoughts. And some of the devices that we have discussed were repetition. We have repetition. We also have synonyms, pronouns, and transitional words. I hope you can still remember that. Why? Because we are going to have a review exercise. Are you ready? Are you ready for our exercise? Let's check first our 2Ds. Hello, Steward Lapid Salonga, grade 10 diligence, watching from Porac National High School. Hello, Steward. Wow, and also we have Christine Rose Reyes, grade 8, Santa Risita Knight National School. And Sonia Cruz, good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, and I think we're all ready. So my dear tuties, you have to be ready because we are going to have a short exercise. And for our exercise today, all you have to do is to connect. So I have here some sentences. You are going to arrange the sentences to form a well-constructed paragraph. So you're going to write the number. Here, you're going to guess what do you think is the first sentence? So if you think the first sentence, number 1 is C, so you answer 1C. What about the second? So number 2, what letter do you think should be the next sentence? Is it D? Okay, 2D. So I'll give you maybe 1 minute for that to give your answers. While I am waiting for your answer, Althea Marie Valdez. Okay. Also we have Sonia Cruz watching from Titay Central Elementary School. Titay Zamboanga, Sibugay, Mindanao. Wow. From elementary school. Good afternoon. Wow. Okay. So, can I see your answers? Okay, my dear tudies, what do you think is number 1? Is it A, B, C, or D? Carl Henry Damaso answered number 1 is C. Right. Number 2 is D, 3A, and 4B. Kristen Rose Reyes answered A1. So number 1 for Kristen Rose is letter A. Let's try to find out your answer if your answer is correct. Okay, let's check. What do you think is the first sentence? Okay, number 1 is letter A. Number 1 is letter A. So the first sentence is the set sounds, and actors in the movie capture the essence of horror films. So this is our first sentence. And the second would be, you're talking about the set, the sounds, and actors. So of course, you just continue. Number two, right? So the set was ideal. Looming shadows of large and unlighted houses, deserted streets, trees dipping their branches over the sidewalks, and mist hugging the ground. So that is your second sentence. And the third sentence would be, the sounds too were appropriate. Especially terrifying was the hard, hollow sound of footsteps echoing throughout the film. And of course, the last sentence would be, but the best feature of the movie was its actors. All of them tall, pale, and extremely thin. So if you notice, the topic sentence, the main sentence here is, the set, sounds, and actors in the movie captured the essence of the horror film. So that is your topic sentence. And then the supporting sentences, the supporting details, you talk about the one in the main or the topic sentence, which I mentioned, the set, the sounds, and the actors. And it would be better if you're going to arrange them according to how you presented it in your topic sentence. So let's check who answered. Sonia Cruz, A, B, 1A, 2B, 3C. 2C for Christine Rose, 3B. Okay, I am Loie Jean answered A, C, B, D. All right, A, C, B, D. The correct sequence again is A, C, B, and D. Congratulations, everyone. I would like to say hello to Luigi. Hi, Luigi from Alameda, Cotabato. Good afternoon. Oh, I am looking for the students from Dolores National High School. Uh-oh, where are they? Okay, my tuties. Good afternoon po, Micaela. There you are, Micaela Valeras. So good afternoon, Micaela Valeras, watching from Dolores National High School. All right, so there you go, the tuties from Dolores National High School. There they are. Okay, they're just watching. Jenmar Villamor, Grayton St. Peter, watching from Dolores National High School, from Pampanga. Right, you are all my active tuties. Congratulations. Also, we have Ronaldin D. Antonio from Dolores National High School. Angela Joy, Ryan Buko, still from Dolores National High School. Good afternoon. Wow, nakakamiss yung mga mag-aaral, yung mga tutis na very, very active. Congratulations po, and thank you for participating. And I think we're all ready. Are we all ready for our main session today? All right, since we are done with our review, let us continue now with our objectives for today's session. So in our session today, you are all expected to be able to cite sources in different reference materials. So from the given reference materials, we are going to cite sources. And we are going to apply the format in different resources. And you are going also to construct a sample bibliography of the different reference materials. For this activity in our learning task, I have modified a bit because we are to save our time. But anyway, you can always check and construct your own bibliography. All right? So let's continue. I have been telling you that in quarter 4, you are going to make a research study or a research paper. That is why we have already discussed about the different types of definitions. We have also discussed about coherence, and we also discussed about the subject and verb agreement. So this time, we are going to talk about the sources. Okay, the sources of our information. So generally, if you are going to write your research, if you are going to write your research, your instructor might ask you, for example, to make a research or write a research paper or a research speech or anything that is about research. That professor actually means that the product should include your own ideas and opinions. Your own ideas and opinions, plus the evidence from outside sources. And this evidence from outside sources should be cited properly. Again, generally, a good research paper provides a balance. If you look at the picture, there is balance. A balance of your own opinions and ideas and the information from outside sources. Again, the information or evidence from outside sources must be properly cited. You must cite them properly. Okay, why? You might ask, why? Why should I cite? Why do you think so? So why should you cite your references or your sources? I have here 4 good reasons why you should cite properly in your research paper, in writing your research paper. Number 1, because it's the right thing to do. You are giving credit to the person or organization who had the idea. This is not your idea, so you have to give credit to the person or to the organization who had that idea. Second, it shows that you have read and understood what others think about your topic. So you have actually consulted the experts. Okay, so since you are using their information, so you have to cite your source. And of course, it helps you avoid plagiarism. You should cite to avoid plagiarism. And number 4, and the last one, it helps people to find the sources you used in case they want to read more about your topic. So the references that you have cited or the sources that you have cited will help the other readers of your research to find your sources and to read more about your topic. Right. So let's check. Okay. Intermission from Dolores National High School, Maria Cristina, Bating Amorin, Leslie. Oh, and we have Contreras, Aaron Dale Balingit from Dolores National High School. Magalang from Magalang, Pampanga. We have Rainier. Good afternoon. Maidi, Riley, Francine Angeles, and hello, students or students from Dolores National High School. Okay, let's go back. So again, these are the reasons why you should cite your sources or references. So when? We're done with why. Why do you have to cite? The next question is when. When do you need to cite? So cite when you are paraphrasing. When you are paraphrasing an idea from another person, you need to cite your source. Also, if you're summarizing, or if you're coding information that is not your own. So the idea is actually not your own, but you just took an idea from that person or from that reference, and then you just make a little bit changes, you're paraphrasing, you really have to cite them. Okay? You have to cite. And then you might ask, are there situations when I don't have to cite? Are there situations? Actually, sometimes. Yes, sometimes you do not have to create citations. For example, if it is a common knowledge, if it's the common knowledge like the president, the 41st president of the United States, okay, so that's a very common knowledge. You don't have to cite your reference in that. Also, for famous quotes, very, very famous quotes, you don't have to cite the reference. And then, if ever you are in doubt, if you're confused as to cite this or not, of course, you're always free to ask your instructor or your librarian because they can answer you. They can give you an idea and then they can tell you the correct answer. Okay? So, call a friend. You can call someone. You can ask someone. That is very important. And now, about plagiarism. When you talk about plagiarism, it includes, but it's not limited to, the inclusion of someone else's words, ideas, or data as one's own work. So it's not actually limited to just using someone else's words, ideas, or their work as your own work. Okay, it includes but not limited to. Now, you must carefully indicate in citing sources which part of your paper or speech comes from an outside source. So sometimes simply listing your sources is not good enough to avoid charges of plagiarism. Yes, it is very important, but sometimes you also have to carefully indicate like the parts of your paper. Sometimes also it is best if you are going to separate the images. So cite the sources of your images if it's from a certain person or an organization. Again, you must carefully indicate which parts of your paper come from an outside source to avoid plagiarism. Right? And one of the best ways to acknowledge the sources is by preparing a bibliography. This is very common to us. When you make your research, always prepare your references, always try to make a bibliography. This bibliography is a list of all the sources that you have used, whether it's referenced or not. But if you're using a certain idea or evidence or thought from another person, so you have to list all of them in a bibliography. Okay. And then in doing this is not actually very new to us because in English, we've been exposed to this in our elementary years. And then when we were in grade 7, also, we already have an idea about bibliography. Grade 8 also, grade 9, and now grade 10. So because we will be using this in our research paper or research uh, activity. Now, in general, a bibliography includes the following. Okay, it includes first the author's names or name. If there's only one author, so just a name. And the title, okay, the title of the work, the names and locations of the companies or the publisher, the dates of the publication, and also the page number. That is also very important. So you have to include all those things. Okay, Joseph and Joy, good afternoon from Dolores National High School. Also, Patrick from Manila, Eliza Angeline Siagan, and Christian Napo. Ira May Quizon, still from Dolores National High School. Congratulations, students. Okay, right. So, we're done about the entries of a bibliography. Let's talk about the different references. For example, a book. Okay, this one is a book. If you look at a book, So you can see here, the first thing that you have to remember, again, in the first inclusions or in a bibliography, the entries for the format, number one is the author's name. Number one, the name of the author. Okay, this is the name of the author. The second one is the title of the book. This is the title of the book. The publisher. This is the publisher. The publisher city. And also the year of publication. Okay, when is the publication date or the year of publication. This is an example of a book. Now let's have them, let's try to discuss them one by one. Okay, let's have a reference material. So the first one is the book. Okay, for the book, we have the format. The format is you start with the name. So start with the last name first. Last name. And then you can write the first name's initial, or actually you can write the entire name. Then the publication year, the year of publication, the book title, publication city, and publisher. So this is the format for our books in writing or preparing a bibliography. For example, so the author is Westerhout M. That's the last name. That's the name of the author. Then the publication year is 2020. The title, the book title is Off the Record, My Dream Job at the White House, How I Lost It and What I Learned. That's the title of the book. Publication city, this is published in New York, Nashville. And the publisher is Center Street. So this is an example of a book. So you have to be careful with the period at the end of the entry. So if you notice, after the author's name, there's a period, and then also period after the year, then the title, period again, and for the publication city, don't forget to put a colon, and then the publisher. The punctuation marks are actually very important. In some cases, you can also put a quotation marks. Okay, you can enclose the title in a quotation mark. Okay, let's proceed to another reference material. This afternoon, we will only focus on 5 reference materials. Number 1 is the book. The second one is magazine. For magazine, the format is start with the author's name, and then still the same, the publication date. You can have the year. Since it is a magazine, there is a specific month, and sometimes also they have a day. And then after that, you write the article title. What is the title of the article? And then, what is the periodical title or the magazine title? If there is a volume number, you add the volume number. If there's none, but generally there are volume numbers. And then the page numbers. So for example, here, Pony Wozik J, that's the author. The publication date is 2000 November 19. Okay, there should be and then the title is TV Makes a Too Close Call. That's a title from the name of the periodical or the name of the magazine from Time Magazine, Volume 20, pages 70 to 71. So this is an example of a magazine. Number 3, what about from newspapers? For newspapers, the format would still be the same. You always start with the author's name. So always start with the last name. Last name, comma, the first name or the initial. The publication date, always start with the year, month, and then the day. The title, and then the name of the magazine, the name of the newspaper, and the page number. What page number can you find that? Okay, or the part of the newspaper. Like here, the Country Today, The newspaper is The Country Today, pages 1A and 2A. The title of the news article is Calls Made to Strengthen State Energy Policies. Right. And then you have to cite the author also. Okay, right. The fourth reference material that we will focus will be encyclopedia. I hope we are still using the real encyclopedia, the hard copy. We can find them in the library. Because actually these days we have online encyclopedia. The format is start again with the author's last name and then the first name or the initial. Still continue with the date, the start with the year, month, and day. Then the title of the article, then the title of the encyclopedia volume, and then the pages. Then there is a publication, so you have to cite the publication and the publishing company, if there is. All right? And then for websites or web pages, this is very common if there is an author. If there is an author. If there is an author, you can cite the author. And then there are cases that there's no author. If there's no author, you have to follow another format. And don't worry because in today's generation, we have the internet. So if you wish to save time, you can generate your citation automatic. So you can choose from the different formats like APA, MLA, or Chicago, or any format of your choice. It depends on your, let's say, for example, it depends on your professor or your teacher. If you're required to, for example, if you're required to use MLA or APA, sometimes Chicago. So it depends. To save time again, you can generate your citation automatically. You can always search the internet for the citation generator. So most researchers are already using that citation generator. You too can do it. So let's make use of the power of the internet. All right. So there you go. So since we have already talked about the 5 reference materials that we can use in acknowledging sources in our bibliography, then it would be time for us now to have our learning task. Are you all ready, my dear tuties? Are you ready now? Can I see your, can you type in ready? You can type in ready if you're ready. So the format is very easy. Always, generally, if there's an author, you start with the author, and then the date of the publication, the title of the article, or the title of the reference, and then you can also add, next is the title of the newspaper or the magazine, or title of the book, and then the publisher. All right, we have Ano answered ready. Also, Carl Henry Damaso answered ready. Patrick Faminalay said ready. Same with Angelica Claire. So I think all our tuties are ready for the exercise for our learning task. So since you're ready, I am ready. We're all ready. But anyway, to wrap up, let's wrap up first everything that we have discussed. We talked about a good research paper has a balance of your opinion and also from the outside sources. We also talked about the why and when you should cite a reference or a source. Also about plagiarism. And lastly, we talked about acknowledging sources by preparing a bibliography. And we focus on 5 reference materials from a book, magazine, newspaper article, encyclopedia, and website or web page. So let's start with our learning task 1. In our task 1, all you have to do is to answer correct or incorrect? I will be giving to you a content of a reference material. And then you're going to determine if the format given in citing sources is correct or incorrect. Are you ready? So it would look like this. There is a picture and then a reference here. So based on the content of the reference material and the way the format being presented, check if it's correct or incorrect. Let's make it bigger. Number 1, let's start. Okay, kindly check. Kindly analyze. Okay, this is a book. Okay, chapter in an edited book. So we have here from a book. Is the format here correct or incorrect? Kindly type in your answer. What do you think? Is this correct or incorrect? The first one who answered is Carl Henry Damaso. Congratulations, Carl Henry Damaso. According to Carl Henry, number 1 is correct. Let's find out. Aquinto Janelle, good afternoon po. Janelle Aquinto, watching from Dolores National High School, Magalang, Pampanga. Good afternoon. Quinto, what do you think is the answer for number 1? Is this correct or incorrect? Ano answered incorrect. Let's try to find out. Patrick, Christine answered correct. All right. Good afternoon po. Princess Kate, Cabo Cuevas, watching from Dolores National High School. Good afternoon, dear students, learners, students from Dolores National High School. Good afternoon. So let's check if number 1 is correct. Is this correct? The correct answer is, we have the author, the year of publication, the title, and then we have the publishing company, the place of publication, and the publisher. So is this correct or incorrect? The correct answer is, correct. So congratulations to Carl and the rest, Patrick, Christine, Angelica, and Nathania Nicole. Congratulations, you answered correct and you are right. Right. Let's proceed to number 2. What about this? This is from a magazine. So for number 1, we focus on book. This time, let's have a magazine. Check if this bibliographical entry is correct or incorrect. Is the format here correct or incorrect? All right. Let's check your answers. Number 2. We are now on number 2. Analyze. Okay, try to check. Nathania Nicole Sikat, kindly write number so that we can, I can easily say if your answer is for number 1 intended for number 1 or number 2. Okay, Carl Henry said number 2 is correct. Patrick says incorrect. Same with Michaela. Shalame. Okay, Angelica Claire answered incorrect. Same with Nathania Nicole, incorrect. Christine Rose also said incorrect. Why do you think so? Let's try to find out. Why is this reference, this format, bibliographical entry format is incorrect? Is incorrect the right answer? All right. Yes, this is incorrect. Why? If you have remembered, if you have recalled, in the last part, after the title, you have to include the volume or the page number. So here, it lacks page number. You have to identify the page number where you found that magazine. Because if you just have to write the title of the magazine, Princess Kate Gets Candid, or gets personal, then that would be it would be very untiring, and it would be something like a tedious for your readers to look, which page am I going to check about this article. So you have to cite, and then you have to make it complete, include the page number. So that makes this incorrect. What about number 3? For number 3, this is from a website, a web page. Okay, try to check. Analyze. Is the format here correct or incorrect? We have Fleming, then we have the dates, the year, the month, the day, the title. Let's try to find out. Let's check your answer. Carl Henry Damaso, or I don't know where to put the stress. Carl Henry Damaso answered correct. Number 3 is correct. Kez Antonio, good afternoon po. Kezia Antonio, watching from Dolores National High School. Hello, Kez Antonio, good afternoon. Okay, what about the others? Nathania Nicole Sikat answered number 3, correct. Is this correct? Let's find out if your answer, because Patrick also said correct. Is this correct or incorrect? This is correct. Yes. So here, you follow the correct format. We have the author. We also have the dates. Remember the year, the month, and then the day, the title. And then this is from what website? Thought.co. And then you also have to include retrieved from, okay, include the date, and then from, copy the entire link, okay, the entire link where you found that reference. So again, number 3 is correct. So we have just answered number 1 from a book, number 2 from a magazine, and number 3 from a website. Let's proceed to learning task 2. Okay, for our learning task 2, all you have to do is to unscramble. So let's have newspaper. So this is from a newspaper. We have here the entries. Try to unscramble the entries. Okay, if you can do it, it would be good. If you can answer. So what should be the first entry in your bibliographical entry? Let me check, I think. So here you really have to write everything. Type in everything. Okay, so what should be the first here? I have already mentioned that before. Let's check. Andre Lalik, good afternoon po. Andre A. Lalik, watching from Dolores National High School. Hello, students, students from Dolores National High School. Thank you for your active participation. All right, so since this is quite long for you to encode or to type, especially if you're just using cell phone, so let me just present to you, give to you the answer. So the correct format would be, you start with the author. Here, it's Muharo George, or just J, then the date, the title, okay, the title of the article, then the Manila Times is the name, then page 4C. So this is the correct sequence. So this is from a newspaper. Another is from an encyclopedia. So if you are given these references or this data, so you can just have, so there's something wrong with the entries here. So you can start with, of course, with an encyclopedia, you start with the author, and then after the author, you have to include the title, and then after the title, the name of the encyclopedia where you got it. Then you also have to include the volume number, then the page number. If there is a publisher and the publication, the place of publication and the publisher, you can also include that. Okay, for this afternoon session, okay, before I will leave, I will never leave because it's time already. I will not leave you without my advice. My advice for this afternoon, so we took the keyword source. So the keyword for today is source. Source. The advice today is from Jeff Daly. Okay, Jeff Daly. Again, our keyword is source. Today's advice for the week is from Jeff Daly that says, when considering praise or criticism, first consider the source. The source of any information or evidence is indeed very helpful. In your research paper, you should always cite properly. Use the correct format in writing your bibliography. Always use the correct format. And don't forget that we have online generators or citation generator if you are confused, right? So you can also do that. And that's my advice. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you have a terrific Tuesday with Tutor today. Enjoy learning and see you next time. Thank you so much and God bless us all. See you next time. Bye.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!